Shalom, all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, halalyam Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, mashna kabadyam lezakwanyam, b'yashara marashal sadat. Double honors to the elders in Israel that rule well. And peace to the elect house of Dawad. Shalom. So this is First Maccabees chapter 1. And we're going to start at verse 59. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. And the 25th day, of course, the Hebraic calendar is not a Julian calendar, is not a Gregorian calendar, but the vibration of 25th reminds you of something in this year month. The same idol, how would you call it? Even an altar, but more so a shrine. So this is Jeremiah the 10th chapter, and the Christian church will not tell you this. They'll not break it down. They'll read it and say, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't have this. It's just as Babylon, again, because it's under that vibration of spiritual mystery Babylon, the great, which is the Great Hall, America, United States. Jeremiah 10. Hear ye the word which Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi speaketh unto you, O house of Israel, O house of Yashara'al, O house of Yasharala. Thus saith the Lord, Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman, with an axe. They deck it with silver and with gold, they fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. The customs of the people are vain, fruitless. They cutteth a tree out of the forest, and then it goes into the work of the hands of a workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold, even the same colors. The tinsel, they'll use silver, gold, red, green, and it goes on. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. Meaning they keep it there, they preserve it in a certain fashion. And that is how it goes from around the 1st of December, from any time from that, through the 25th of December, which was known as the 10th month. Of course, is now the 12th month, deck going back to that, meaning 10. So this is the same vibration, the same thing as Babylon. And why is that? Because they are Babylon again. Revelation chapter 17. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And what is fornication? That same idolatry. Where are we? Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 10 or 12. 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. And that's what it says about the gods of the nations. Going back to Jeremiah the 10th chapter. Then that brings us right back to First Maccabees. This is Psalm 96 and 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols, where Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi made the heavens. So First Maccabees chapter 1. I think we're at 59. It goes on. At which, according to the commandment, they had put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. And that will be literally, it could be, but spiritually today, that circumcision is the circumcision of the heart, which of course isn't only in the so-called New Testament, is in the writings from Matthew through Revelation. But the circumcision of the heart, coming back, the circumcision, the uncircumcision, the reconciliation of the house of Judah and the house of Israel, the whole nation of Israel, the 12 tribes. And it says, And they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them, and a witness for the spiritual circumcision. I believe it's 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 71. I'll start at 70. For there shall be in every place and in the cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. Then shall be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in a fire. And we've got Ecclesiastes, or the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 4. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low state. Talking about when you come to serve Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, when you come to take this walk in the truth, on that narrow path, the straight gate. You're gonna be in temptations. You are gonna face afflictions on all manner of trial. Where it says, for gold is tried in a fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. Saveth in time of affliction, even the time of Jacob's affliction. So if you're cleaving, and if you've got the true faith, meaning not just lip service, but trying to do that, you'll be tried in that. And you won't burn up, you won't be rejected, but you'll be accepted. I believe Jeremiah, the 6th chapter, Jeremiah 6 and verse 30. Reprobate silver shall men call them, because the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, hath rejected them. And you don't want to be that. You want to be the acceptable gold, not the reprobate silver, but that true gold. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 7. In fact, start at 6. In fact, start at 1. Peter, an apostle of Yahawashi Mashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. Elect according to the foreknowledge of God Yahawah, Ha'abba, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahawashi Mashiach. Grace unto you and peace be multiplied. Shalom Rabbah. Unto obedience. That's true faith. Obedience. Verse 3. Blessed be God, Yahawah, and Father of our Lord Adonai, Yahawashi Mashiach, which according to his abundant mercy hath begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahawashi Mashiach from the dead, to an inheritance incorruptible, undefiled, and that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you, who are kept by the power of Yahawah, through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations, that the trial of your faith be much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, and might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahawashi Mashiach, whom having not seen, ye love, in whom Though now you see him not, yet believing, you rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you, searching what manner of time the Spirit of Mashiach, which was in them, did signify, when it testified beforehand the sufferings of Mashiach and the glory that should follow. The scriptures talk about suffering with Mashiach, so we may be glorified with him. These are a joyful time, for we shall shine through it, man. We shall shine through all these things that are to come upon us, though it might be a bit trying, even the trial of your faith. We will shine through it, man. If you've got the true faith in Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, you can't go wrong. You cannot. If you've got the true doctrine, the true name, and true faith, you'll be preserved, man. You'll be tried, just like Job. Let's read about that in the first chapter. We'll start at 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered Yahawah, and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, and escheweth evil. And the hopeful elect are that perfect and that upright, the Yahawah right now, which means it goes back to hated, persecuted, that named Job. We will be the Jobium, the Yahawah. It says, You shall be hated of all men for Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi's namesake. And do you believe that? If you believe that, prepare yourself in here, man. And I'm pointing at my head. Okay. It says, Then Satan answered the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, and said, Doth Job fear God for naught? Hast not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. So right now, we're the parabolic or metaphoric Job. We're doing alright, man. We're still at the bottom, right? But we're doing alright compared to what's to come, compared to the state of the earth is about to be in. You thought 2020 was one? Wait for 2021. We're on that. We've got a job. We've got housing setups. You might have an apartment. You might be sharing. You might be doing whatever. But you're not in trouble like Jacob's trouble. So right now your substance is increased in the land. It says, Job 1:11, But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord Yahawah said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Thy job, thine house, thine car, thine monetary gain, thine fancy clothes, thine watches, thine chains. We said, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. I mean, you can't kill him. Now there'll be some that are gonna have to get that. Let's read Revelation 20:4. But once you're killed, you're not gone, man. You're not wiped off forever. Revelation 20:4. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon him, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahawashi, for the word of Yahawah, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Mashiach 1,000 years. So thrones were seen, and they that sat upon him. Let's read it. Revelation chapter 3, verse 12. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, which is Yahawah, and the name of the city of my God, which is Jerusalem, which is New Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. I will write upon him my new name. Revelation 2, we're going to start, I hate that highlight. Can't even read it. Oh, yoy. Hold on. Salah. Okay. You're going to have to bear with me real quick, Salah. Google Assist. Alright. Revelation chapter 2, verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And him that overcometh will a pillar be made in the temple of his God, of my God. Reading in the sorry, not blue letter, the red letter. Blue letter Bible is that, well, it's an app or an online where you can go through it. The red letter means Yahawashi's words. And of course, he is the word. He is the word. But the words that he spoke through the Spirit. So let's go back to Revelation 20 and 4. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahawashi and for the word of Yahawah, and which had not worshipped the beast. Which beast is this? Revelation chapter 13. Verse, I don't even know where to start. Alright, let's start at 1. Revelation 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. In this incarnation right here, it goes back to Rome. This is the first incarnation of any beast, and the beast it correlates with is from Daniel the 7th chapter. And let's start at, I have to start at 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. So it stamped the residue with the feet of it. It crushed out all opposition in terms of the beast that rose before it. As in, Assyria, Babylon's not coming back. As in, Persia, Media's not coming back. As in, the Greeks are not coming back. They got so stomped. They didn't have a challenging empire. None of the beasts before it. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up. Salah. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. Behold, whom they were before. Salah. Let me start from the top. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, which we'll be talking about Iberia, or the Iberian Peninsula, which would be going into Portugal. Obviously, you've got what do they call it? Castile and Aragon, which then went into Spain. And it's also going into France. It's also going into Britain. So I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. And the judgment was set, and the book was opened. And is it Daniel 12:4? It says, well, let's read it from 1. In fact, I'm doing too many different layers. Oh. Okay. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 13. Bear with me again. In fact, I'll just lower that. Alright. So, Revelation 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, making up that whole Roman system of all time Roman system. And upon his 10 horns, 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. So if you go and recall the beast before it, he was the leopard. And that's the basic breakdown for that. And his feet was the feet of the bear, and his mouth is the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and the seat, and great authority. And I saw one of the heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And you can hear about that, the time that dragon was put down. It came from the same time, not the same time slot, but the same seclorum. So look that word up, seclorum, the Latin word seclorum. It came from that same seclorum as Herod, who's known among scholars to be an Edomite. And the Edom is synonymous with that dragon. So I'm just trying to fix this. Alright, that's going to have to do. Excuse all the interruptions. It said, and the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Where does that sound similar to? Just like with this new Babylon, the kings of the earth have committed fornication. The inhabitants made themselves drunk with the wine of her fornication, that being Babylon the Great. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Okay. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. As many, go and check the other times 40 and 2 months comes up, a period of time. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. So what are blasphemies of that? Well, they blasphemed the name. They changed the name. They knew that wasn't the name. It couldn't be the name. His tabernacle, meaning the dwelling place. So that was literally when there was an incarnation of the same nation, even them, the same nation. But when the literal tabernacle was destroyed around the year of 70 AD, that's literal. And it says, and them that dwell in heaven. So the heavenly tabernacle, meaning what? The angel, the angelic beings. And what's a blasphemy like that? They painted them with all manner of Levitical 13 hair. They painted them not necessarily looking as they would have appeared. And when I say not necessarily, I mean not at all. It said, and it was given unto them to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And who's a proud man that transgresseth by wine, who gathers all nations unto him, who heaps all nations unto him, was given over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And I think we'll continue this in Blue Letter Bible, because we'll actually look that up. Not Red Letter, but Blue Letter Bible. Revelation 13 and 10. I'm going to go to that. Shalom. So it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So what does that mean? The patience and the faith of the saints is waiting to do the thing aforementioned. It doesn't. It means what it means. It says what it says. So the word for captivity is this. Malasiyah. Let's look at this. Captivity. Where's it? And we will touch on that in a second. So Ephesians chapter 4 and 8. Wherefore he saith, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Go into that. He led captivity captive. And go on to lead the captors captive. Now look at this worldly definition for malosia, which means captivity. Here it says, abstract for concrete equivalent to malatoi, Sifi Adel Fortes, I believe that is. It says, according to the common but doubtless corrupt text. I'm not too sure what that's talking about. Bookman, Winer's grammar. Anyway, we'll push on to touch that. Oi. Salah, I'm gonna have to address that. I just got attacked. Right, sorry about that. So we've also got the word Achmaltos. This is a captive. It's only used once in the Bible, and it says, Luke 4 and 18. The Spirit of the Lord, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised. And of course, I just said only used once in the Bible. That's not necessarily true. Just it means in the so-called New Testament. So I'll have to use another software to look where that's used in the Septuaginta. So we've also got the halosis.
Strong's G259.
Halosis. My man did not sound too happy when he said 259 then. Let's listen to that one more time.
Strong's G259.
Halosis. He was like 259. It says a capture to be taken. It says 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 12. But these, as natural brute beasts made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall perish in their own corruption. So we've got an understanding of what the word captivity, capture, all of them things are related. To be taken, to be seized. Even the word rapture goes back to the word rape, which means to be taken. So Revelation chapter 13 verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a dragon. No, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Excuse me, I'll read that again. Revelation chapter 13 verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And this is talking about Mystery Babylon the Great. This is the 11th horn you read about in Daniel. This is the country. He's more stout than him fellows, man. This is Mystery Babylon the Great. This is the United States of America. And it says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, which was what? The Rome. The Rome was the fullness in that time. But now, America is the fullness in this year time. And there's been revivals or attempted revivals, even where the 8th came from, even where the 11th horn came from, would be that European Seclorum. Europa. Go look that up also. Revelation 13:12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Worshipping, that is bringing back their ideas, ideologies, theologies, or the names of the Greco-Roman pantheon, because the Romans were quite influenced or inspired, breathed on by the Greeks when it came to a lot of their philosophy. They sort of admired them. Similarly, we'll leave that, but they sort of admired them. And you can see that they also use Latin in certain medical fields. All of this is them reviving and breathing, inspiring the first beast, meaning to breathe. And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast. So it's as if through this one you're getting a glimpse of that first one, and then in that you begin to glorify it, hold it dear unto your heart, whose deadly wound was healed. And the deadly wound, I believe we read about that already. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. And the fire coming down from heaven, that's even with his nukes. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast. And that's words. That's not necessarily, or it's not at all. I would say necessarily, I mean not at all. Talking about the image of Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia is not the image of the beast. Now, it's part of the false prophet system, so you could better associate it with that. But it's not the image itself. The image goes back to the word icon, which is where we get the word icon. But they pronounce it a bit funny to how we know it. Image, icon. Let's listen to this.
Strong's G1504.
Icon. Like Yav. Anyway, icon. It says that icon. But an image, figure, likeness. An image of the things, the heavenly things, used of the moral likeness of renewed men to God, the image of the Son of God, into which true Christians, meaning followers of the Messiah, are transformed, is likeness not only to the heavenly body, but also to the most holy and blessed state of mind, which Mashiach possesses, the anointed possesses, the image of one in whom the likeness of anyone is seen, applied to man on account of his power of command, to Mashiach on account of his divine nature and absolute moral excellence. This word image I'm aware this is quite long, but that might not be too bad thing. I've not done a very long one in a while. So that's a very interesting one in looking at this. Let's start at this when they're trying to tempt him. Alright. Matthew chapter 22 verse 17. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Yahawashi perceived their wickedness, and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Shew me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny, and he saith unto them, whose inscription is this image? Sorry. It says, and he saith unto them, whose is this image and superscription? And they said unto him, and they say unto him, Caesar's. Then he said unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. Whose image is this? Whose image? It was a sort of beast. It wasn't quite that Revelation 13:11 beast. So whose icon is this? So that was a literal image. But let's try and get something that's talking about the likeness. Got image, superscription, image, superscription. Here we are. Ooh. I want to read all of these, so I will. Romans 8:29. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. So the image of the Son. I remember it was Sakari debate. It was Captain Tazamar. I believe it was Deacon Hakar. I know it was Deacon Hakar, but there might have been someone else. Salah to that brother. It's a long time since I watched that. But one of these Negro-only brothers said, being conformed to the image of his Son means they all must be dark-skinned. And then he was like, well, are you dark-skinned? He was like, no. It means what? So you're not of the elect. So there's a light-skinned brother basically saying everyone had to be dark-skinned, like unto brass burned in a furnace, to be part of the elect. And then said he wasn't. 1 Corinthians 11. So my point saying that is, it's not talking about a literal image even. It's talking about the likeness of his Son, that we may be conformed into that. His manner, his walk, how he walked among the peoples, meaning the different people groups, and how he carried himself in this situation, how he carried himself in this situation. And the apostles, meaning the apostles in that first century, they in their epistles are a good example of us on how to follow the Messiah. Because we're meant to be conformed to that likeness, but you can't do everything exactly, because that's not our office. Our office is to follow. So we learn how we better follow the Messiah, who's Yahawashi Mashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but that's not his name. 1 Corinthians 11:7. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of God Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, but the woman is the glory of the man. And it says, and as we have borne the image of the earthly, this is 1 Corinthians 15:49, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. Yeah, that's it in terms of the image we'll touch on for now. Let's go back to Revelation 13. An image to the beast which had the wound by the sword. I think we've read that. Yeah, we've read 15. Alright, so this is we're into this part. This is the part that I touch on most out of this chapter, I think. Revelation 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And you're not going to get out of it from taking it in your left hand, man. Because it says in their hand in the 14th chapter, the 9th and 10th verse. Right, let this load. Let's try to turn this off. Put this on. But that doesn't look too good. We'll try that again. There we are. So this word for mark, which you should know, should know, is charagma. Let's listen to my man say it. So it's the word charagma. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark, of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. And that's some leaven, man. There's not a singular Antichrist. It's Antichrist, there are many. It's the spirit that denies Yahawashi came in the flesh. That's the spirit of an Antichrist, an anti-anointed, anti-Mashiach. Right? There's not a singular the Antichrist. There's even some brothers in Israel teach there's a the Antichrist. So you just following Christian theologians, man. That's not meat. They're not good elders, man. The non-Israelite, modern day Gentilian, shape-shifting Gentilian Christianity as teachers. I wouldn't suggest it. It says the mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. And your Christian people that go to the seminary, they'll have some interesting worldly intellect. They can go on the manuscripts and the scholar. That's their lot, man. But they don't know about prophecy, and they don't truly understand it. They understand like everything you can carnally about a spiritual book. So Acts 17:29. For as much then as we are the offspring of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, we are not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art and man's device. Graven. Let's look at some translations of this. Translation comparison. They said, well, the first one is graven. Something shaped by art and man's devising. Formed by the art. Designed by craftsmen. Representation by the art. An image made by human design. And this is what a charagma is, man. Remember that. An image formed by the art and imagination of them. What? So it's the image formed by art of the beast? Of course, every context is not going to work. But going through these, this is how you get an understanding of what the word means, man. You can't just neglect that. Of course, it doesn't mean the art of the beast. They're going to put art inside you, but it is their art. It's their craftsmanship. It's their engraved device, their carved, graven thing. That's how you get an understanding. Well, the spirit of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi has to be working with you. That's how you get the understanding. But further edification is drawn out, and you can build upon it by going through these witnesses and looking at different translations and everything. An image fashioned by human art, graven by art, graven form of man's art, engraved by art and designed of man. We ought not to think that the Godhead is like to gold or silver or stone graven by art or man's device. And I think the Vulgate says character. That's where you get the word character from. The character of the beast. And that doesn't mean character is in today. That would be the image. Let's see. Oh no, sculpture. Where have I got that from then? The character. That might be the image even. Hold on though. Okay. I have to look into that. Oh, because it is, but just not in that. Revelation 16. Let's just get that in the Vulgate. I think I'll confuse myself. Right, apologies. Misinformation. It wasn't disinformation. Meaning, I didn't know. Here we have, yeah, there you are. The character in dextra, meaning, I think that, yeah, that means you're right. And then manu. Oh, no, dexterity's got to be hand. Listen, I don't know Latin. Salah. But character, that goes into your impression upon someone. That's why you get the word character. But it actually means, in old, ancient languages, actually meant something physically put upon someone, engraved. So the word charagma, that shows you what it is. It's an RFID microchip. That's the mark of the beast. That's how you buy, you'll sell if you get down with this man's system when it's pushed at that time. It says on that no man might buy or sell, say if he had the mark. So it's not Christianity. It's not an ideology. You're not going to be able to say Alhamdulillah and get yourself a cheeseburger. You're not going to say John 3:16 means the whole world, not the world of Israel, and you're going to get some fries and a burger. Or any other, I'm just saying food in it. You're not going to get anything by doing that. It's not an ideology, it's actually that. It says, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast, which is his vibration, or the number of his name. And the number of his name is 18. Here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. And his number is 636. The man of sin. So this is 2 Thessalonians 2. This is where they go to get the Antichrist doctrine. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God. And people say, well, there's got to be this temple built, and the Antichrist is going to come, and he's going to sit here, and he's going to be like, I'm God. But there's many examples of people trying to show themselves as the Most High. Even the one that tries to make miracles now can put a brain chip, Neuralink, can chip you, can get Max on you, and going on a date with Max, Maxine, would show your allegiance to the beast. And the misinformation on YouTube act. And this video might get taken down for this, but it's the Lord's doing through these people. That not using oral remedies in terms of food and just ingesting something, or offering prayer that's no longer acceptable or meet in the eyes of the beast. It's now, if you're going against Max, if you're promoting more natural and you could say religious, but cultural, worship and praying to a God, that's in vain, and it's all about Max. Now this is the vibration they're pushing. So if you want to get down with that, then you've got down with the image, you've got down with the name, you've got down with the vibration. That's what I'm saying. So 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means. Not by Max. Not like ISUPK will tell you, oh yeah, come along by this means. That not by any means, man. You can't have any avenue that's gonna stop you and you go, alright, and then it gets in and now you're deceived. Of course it'll be the Lord's doing. But you have to be on your A game, man. No days off. No days off. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That's Esau Edom, man. That is Esau Edom. And when I say have no days off, I don't mean work a secular job every day. I mean in this truth, exercising unto godliness. Don't let your godly, I was going to say muscles, but that seems like a folly thing, but exercise, you know how you have to train muscles, repetition. That's the same thing with godly exercise, but you need to do that more, man. Because bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness unto all things. And it says, and whoso, I think we've read that. So basically, the Esau Edom, the beast man, when the system and vibration is pushed to get down with it, and take the date with Max. Don't go with the image, man. Oh, with the beast. Please don't go with the beast. Okay? And that same man is written about. He is known as the king of Babylon, even mystery Babylon. Isaiah 14 and 1 and 2. And as the apostles always say, man, there's certain things written that were prophesied. The prophets didn't even understand. They might have thought they were talking about the old ancient Babylon. They were talking about mystery Babylon, still to come after Rome, after Yahawashi Mashiach, because that's when mystery Babylon got set up. Yeah, of course, the spirits was there. Everything was set up in place for it to progress like that. But the United States of America wasn't here when Yahawashi was. But the same spirits were. That's that great city. even Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. So Isaiah 14:1, for the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, will have mercy on Jacob, Yahawah, and will yet choose Israel, Yashara'al, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them, and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. It says, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. So this is a proverb. Everything read in here is a proverb against the king of Babylon, not against Satan himself. Well, it says, Isaiah 14:12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Still talking about this same king of Babylon. It says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. So what's that? The tabernacle. I'll exalt my throne above the stars of God, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. And the same did that. They say that we went to the moon, man. We took ourselves and we planted an Edomitic flag upon that moon. I don't believe that. If you believe that, either way, they're still projecting that idea that they've done this. They've actually done that. They've conquered. They know all about the universe. There's stuff we don't know, but we can get to Mars soon, bro. That's how they push it, man. It says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation. In the sides of the north, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. That's what they try to do. They've got a problem. They've got a reaction. They've got a solution. Same way the Lord will create a situation, try you, and deliver you out of it. That's how Esau Edom wants to do on this earth. Now, whether this came by a man-made means, of course the Lord set it up. And He's going to deliver us out of it by our faith. But Esau Edom wants to set it up that you're delivered by him through his security, through his health system. That's why prayer and more natural means are shunned. You see, you're tested. You're being tested, man. And who do you stand for? Whose image do you worship? Whose mark are you taking? What about the mark? Let's get the. Anyway, first let's get this select. It says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit, even from among mountains and clefts of rocks, even many hunters. Yeah. What was I looking for? What was it? Alright, I've completely forgot. My fault. I'm still trying to remember. Alright, I need that though. I'm gonna have to pause it and listen back 1 minute. halalyam, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. So, I remembered, I listened back. And the Lord let me remember this. So let me bring this up. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 1 through 6. Well, we'll just do 1 through 4. He cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. I'll read in proper English. And one man among them was clothed with linen, and a writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar, and the glory of the God of Israel, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, was gone up, and the glory of the God of Israel, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of it. So whose mark are you taking, man? The mark of the beast, or the mark of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi? And they'll say, look, man, look at this mark. It says mark is a sign of exemption from judgment. So, the mark is the same mark. It's not the same mark, man. Even for who it's for. Yashara'al's mark, that's a spiritual mark. Esau Edom's mark, that's a carnal mark. And of course there's going to be 2/3 that aren't in their fullness. But still, it's the imitation. It's the same way Esau and Jacob are meant to be twins, like as in the same womb, 2. It just means to come from 2. Goes back to the I believe. So 2, there was 2, but they're a different manner. So it's a different manner of mark. It says, Job 31:5, oh, that one would hear me, behold my desire, my mark, is that the Almighty would answer me, and that mine adversary had written a book. So Ezekiel 9:6, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at the sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men, which were before the house. And that mark is the only mark that's going to exempt you in this time. This is the mark you should desire. This mark of the beast is not what you should desire. The mark of the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. That should be our earnest desire. To have this exemption from perishing with the rest. We know what it is. More things are revealed unto you than men know, the men realize, the men recognize. So it'd be a shame to have that, but certain men are gonna fold it up in a napkin. Certain men are gonna fold it in a napkin. So Revelation 13:16-17, and he causeth all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Revelation 14:9-10. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God. Revelation 18:3, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, who is at Babylon the Great, America, the United States, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So this is a time we're in. And that beast there is going to push that mark. But you want the mark of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. This is the mark we should look for in that time of trouble. Because I opened too many tabs in my mind. But now we're slowly closing off the tabs because we've read all the content. So now we're on this because we're going down a different avenue. And I wanted to bring this, so I'll just bring it now. And we'll close out, Lord willing. Daniel chapter 12, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Matthew 24. Verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor shall nor ever shall be. And people say that's talking about 70 AD, but also you see that time of trouble correlates with Daniel the 12th chapter. It says, and except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So Daniel 12, verse 2 says, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. That's what we say through this persecution. We're going for shine, man. We're going for shine star. So let's get ready. Get ready. Get ready. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. And they that turn many to righteousness, as the stars forever and ever. And turning many to righteousness is doing the work of an evangelist, making full proof of thy ministry. So it's preaching the gospel, it's getting this word out, it's giving these meals out, innit? These spiritual meals, spiritual drinks, spiritual bread. For Yahawashi is that bread, Yahawashi is that word. It says, but thou, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. The time of the end is now, man. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. That's what it is. This is what's happening. Knowledge is running to and fro. Sorry, people are running to and fro. Knowledge is being increased by that action. And just as I'm about to close out, that happens. So that's perfect timing, really. If you think about it, So, with that being said, let's just fix this very quickly. Alright. Salak about the disruptions during this. It's just how it happened. Oh no. Okay. That is fully broken. Mad. Anyway. All praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi. Lord willing, that was edifying. Peace to the elect house of David. Double honors to the elders in Israel that rule well. All praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi. Shalom.